I'm going to show you how to make these little chocolate monkeys. They're made from chocolate fondant. First of all, I have bought the chocolate fondant ready-made and it has a really nice taste. I've taken a piece about, I don't know, the size that I'd like to make the body, and then I've rolled it into a ball and then rolled it into a cone, sort of tapering my hands and my palms in a little bit, and then just moving it a little bit, using more the large bit of my hands to get that nice cone shape. Plonk that down. I've taken another piece that I think would be about the right size for a head, and I've rolled that one straight into a ball. If you want to fix your cone up, just make sure you use the sort of palms of your hands rather than the fingers so much, just to stop leaving finger marks. Now this is actually the same chocolate fondant as this here, but mixed with white to give it a lighter colour, which I'm going to use for the chest and the muzzle and the detail on the monkey. I'm only taking a small piece, roll it up to get the creases and things, and warm it up a bit, make it a bit flexible. I have got corn flour on my board, and I'm going to roll this quite thin. I'm actually going to flip it over just so it doesn't stick. It'll mean I'll have a bit of corn flour, but that's okay, I'll touch that up later because I'm making it quite thin. Using this teardrop shaped cutter and a little tiny heart cutter, I'm going to make 2 pieces in the fondant. Cut them out and push them out. Now, using a knife, I'm actually going to cut the top of the teardrop off because this is going to go right up underneath our monkey's chin. And I'm going to chop the bottom of the heart off. And this is because this bit is going to actually be used as the eye area for our monkey, and we don't need that extra little bit down the bottom. Now those little pieces that I've cut off, plus a little bit extra, I will grab them, roll them together, maybe a little bit more. Squish them together, roll them into a ball, roll them around, then roll them into a kind of cylinder, similar shape to that, sort of like a bit of a jelly bean actually, and then just press it flat, not completely flat because you still want some depth. And I'll show you how this will all come together in a minute, because we're going to work on the head first. And this is where some of the detail is. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the little piece that you've just done. Just take this little heart, top of the heart that you've just done. Using a little bit of water, we're just going to pop it on there. And this is going to become the monkey's eyes. Using the same brush, getting ready, a little bit of water on the back of the piece that you made like a flat jelly bean, which is the muzzle bit of our monkey. And just pop it on there. And you can start to see we're starting to get a little bit of a monkey shaped face. Now, using a toothpick, or I've got this little tool, but a toothpick or a sharp pointy thing, knife, whatever you like, whatever you can get your hands on, we make 2 little holes here which become the monkey's nostrils. Getting a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of white fondant, because this is going to be for the monkey's eyes, so it needs to only be very, very small. I've only got just a tiny little piece. Roll it up, warm it up into a little ball, into a little sausage, and the reason I do that, it looks a bit like a tic tac, and then you cut it in half so that you'll hopefully have 2 pieces the same or very similar size, and you can roll them up into little balls and then use them as the eye area pieces. And just using a little bit of water, we will just dab that on there, and try not to use too much water because actually they're not quite the same. Let's take a little bit of that out. Just do that again. Try not to use too much water, because if you make it too much water, it becomes slippery and your pieces will just slide off and they won't be any good. Okay, so you can use a paintbrush if you like, or you can use your fingers, and you just pop them on here, and it looks like a bit of a frightened monkey at the moment. Then you add just a tiny, tiny little bit another tiny little ball. Again, you're only taking a really tiny pinch because these are going to be the eyes. And they need to be a little bit smaller than the piece that you've just done. So I might even make that a little smaller. Really small, roll it out, cut it out. Get your two pieces. And they become two tiny, tiny little dots. And just using a little dab of water, pop them in for your monkey's eyes. Now, when you're putting them on, make sure if you can that the eyes are going the same way. And it's nice not to put them directly staring out. I've got mine looking a little bit this way. Make sure they go the same way, unless you want a crazy monkey with crazy eyes. To get the mouth, I'm just going to use the edge of the teardrop. You can use the edge of a piping tip too, or you can even use a sharp knife. And I'm just going to pop that in here to give the monkey a nice little smile. And you can change the expression as you like by opening up his mouth, or you can put a tongue in there. You can even have half a banana, whatever you like. Pop our head down. We're going to grab a little bit of water. We're going to put it on the back of our chest piece, which is the little teardrop shaped piece that you cut the top off. And we're going to put that on our body quite high up, because we want that to sit really pretty much just under the chin. Then we get a little bit more water and we put our monkeys up. Actually, I want to put the ears on first. So just before I do that, I'll just grab a little piece out for the ears. Should I grab it from here? I'm going to grab a piece that will be as big as I want the two ears to be. I don't even want little ears. Roll it up. Roll it into a little bit of a sausage again. Cut it in half. Now this time, each piece you're going to do is going to be rolled into a ball. Then you're going to make it into a kind of teardrop shape. So if you can see, one end is slightly pointed. There's one, and the other one. Roll it into a ball. A little bit of a sausage. Hang on. There we go. And then make that teardrop shape. And the reason we do that is because we want to poke that in the side of the monkey's head. So we're going to use our sharp, pointy tool, and we're going to put little indents in the side of his head so that we've got somewhere to poke the ears in. For a tiny little bit of detail, we are going to add a little ball of the lighter coloured fondant. So I'm going to squash my little ears down a little bit. Put a little bit of water on, just a dab. Put our lighter coloured on there, lighter coloured piece on there. And then just to give it a bit of depth, I'm actually using the rounded end of a paintbrush, and I'm going to push into the monkey's ear so it attaches the piece a bit more and sort of gives it a bit of, I think, more detail. I'm going to put a little bit of water into the holes that we've just created. I'm trying to work quickly here because I've got to get this video under 15 minutes. Then we just attach our ears. And you can reshape them. Then you can put your, I've already wet that, we can put our monkey's head onto its body. Next thing we want to do is add some legs. And again, I've got a piece of fondant ready to go here, just to speed things up. And I'll just warm it up. This time, I'm going to roll it out quite thin as a long sausage. So I'm rolling out the kinks and things now by rolling it into a ball. Then I start to rub it into a tube or a long sausage, and then we roll it out. And you roll it out to the fatness that you think you want your legs to be. It doesn't matter if it's a bit long. The main thing is to try and keep it nice and even, particularly those ends, which can get a bit thicker because they get a bit neglected. And you want it to be even all around. So then I get them together. Once I'm happy with the length, and I think, okay, I want my legs to be about this long. So looping them around this way, might make that a little bit thinner. Looping them around this way just means that you can get your legs about the same size and shape. So I wanted it about there. Pop that aside. Normally I'd say cover your fondant and all that sort of thing, but I'm just trying to work quickly. Now the one end we want to basically push down with our finger to make a sort of hand paddle or a foot paddle, and then the other end we can actually push down and make it quite flat and quite broad, because that's where the monkey's body's going to sit. Now where the hand paddle section is that you've just done, I'll just hold that up so you could see, you're actually going to put some fingers or toes or whatever you want to call them in. And that's going to be one monkey's foot. And you do the same thing, just got a bit of cornflower there, on the other side. So then we put them out, a little bit of water, maybe it's a little bit too much. And then we pop our little monkey on. And you can position those legs then however you like. So I found it's quite, I mean, if you're sitting on the side of a cake, you probably dangle them off the edge or something like that. But because these haven't got any supports, I found it quite handy just to put a little bit of water on the inside, and on the inside of the leg, I don't know if you can see that, I'm actually putting it on the inside so it sticks to itself, bending it up, pushing it in, and then he's sort of sitting like that. And again, it depends on how you want the position of leg. I'm just putting a bit of water again on the back, bending it up, bending the foot out, and then he's sort of sitting on his legs a bit like that. Next thing, of course, we need some arms. Just make sure I don't get that too wet or it'll get too sticky. Now, in actual fact, quite handy, I can use the piece that I just did for the legs, because I actually am going to make it a little bit skinnier, just a tiny bit for the arms, and that's about the right length. Zoom a little bit more. So we put that there, and this time I'm not going to cut any excess off, I'm actually just going to use all of that. So we've got two arms. It's the same process as the legs. Push down, make a hand paddle, push that a little bit rounder. But we don't push the other end just yet. We push it down, but not the same way. We do the same fingers. And I tend to make them longer than you would make a human being's fingers. They look a bit more authentic because they have longer things. So this time, when you push down, you make sure that you attach the fingers on the upside. So when you put him around and attach the fingers, you've got them up there, not upside down, because you'll end up with a flat piece, which won't be very exciting. And again, this time, flattening out the back bit, and you attach that sort of around at his shoulders, and you just bring the hand round to position wherever you want. Could be sitting there. Again, flatten that out, a little bit of water, and then attach it near his shoulders. Pretty straightforward. And I guess the thing that you wait for now is the monkey's tail. So again, just grabbing a piece of fondant. And this is where you can add a little bit of personality and a bit of fun. Again, if you had some things that you were sitting him on a cake, you might wrap the tail around something. You could add, just for decoration, you could have banana, holding a banana in his tail or something funny. You can have bananas in this little guy's hands. Whatever you want. You can just add a little bit of personality to each one as you go. This is way too long, this tail. So this time we're making quite a skinny piece. Try and make it fairly neat. You're going to put a little hole in the monkey's bottom, which I probably should have done before, but I forgot. And basically you make one a little bit pointier, and you put a little bit of water in that hole that you just created, because it helps it stick. Slide that piece into the monkey's bottom, and then you just curl the monkey's tail around however you like, and there you have your monkey. Just position him how you want, and then just let him dry. Put him on a cake. Easy as that.